Alright, I'm at 3542 Springdale Road in Cincinnati, Ohio, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a building. This is a commercial building. And so what we're looking for is mainly any structural issues, but anything that would be concerning to the buyer. Cleaning the lens off there. Our access, there are two stacks right next to each other, so we're going to go through the PVC. I believe it was just added fixtures, and so they added a second stack to accommodate all that. But there's no water turned on here, but this should go out to Springdale Road, go out the front, and then all the plumbing comes down right here. So you should be able to see. Looks like cast iron under the floor, which is pretty normal. But it should switch to most likely clay when we get out to the outside the building. It should be normal. I have a little bit of channeling here. But cast iron always looks rough like this. It does rust, obviously, since it's cast iron. But the thing about cast iron is you can't really tell how much life is left in the line as far as how thin or thick the pipe walls are, unless you obviously see holes or breaks. But this looks like it's holding shape pretty well. It's not, doesn't have big. Like a lot of times you'll see where the water creates like channeling along the bottom of the pipe, and a lot of times that's one of the first places to like rot out or to rust through. And this all looks like it's in pretty good shape. It's got a pretty good shape to it. It's holding pretty well. We can't do and run any water. The water is not turned on to the building, so we can't do any functionality tests. You can see how this is rough, and it's pretty normal to see how it looks all, how it looks rough and bumpy and all that, and it has lumps in areas like where you make the turn. And there's like a low pressure zone inside the turn where the water goes to the outside like this. In those areas, it creates that somebody's running water up there somehow, or there's some water coming down through there. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but at any rate, the pretty normal to have it built up like that. There's ways you can remedy that, as far as like you can make it better. You can descale the line, which is basically just like running a chain on the end of it, and it kind of scrapes all the rust off the inside and makes it, puts the line back in shape, back to original shape. So hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit better as we pull back. You can see as I'm pushing. I don't know how long this has been vacant, but there may be some stuff that's still, because you can see I'm like, as I'm pushing, all of a sudden there's water. There may be a little bit of buildup in the line that is just without flushing. You can see kind of the buildup without being able to run water through it. That would be the nice part. The camera lens is only like a half an inch off the bottom of the pipe, so that's not a ton of water. But obviously you'd like to be able to see a little bit better. You can see right there is where the line goes from cast iron and opens up into clay. Okay, so we are getting some water flowing behind it. So that's good. Like I said, I may have, when these lines dry out, sometimes what will happen is stuff will build up there. in certain spots, because it'll stop at a certain spot and then it dries out because you don't have any other water running behind it. So again, I don't know how long this has been empty, but I'm trying to make sure that we can get the camera lens clear, but now I'm just getting more and more gunk on it. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and try to push all the way out to the main, into the clay. And hopefully we'll be able to see better as we pull back. As I push, obviously I'm plowing up stuff in front of the camera lens. So try to get out to the main, we'll try to rinse the camera off, and then as we pull back, we should be able to see a lot clearer. You can see well enough now to be able to see any major structural issues. So I don't see anything crazy. No big trees or anything out there, so that's always good. We got some stuff here built up on the side. I don't know if that kind of looks like grease, but maybe a grease ball or something on the side there. That's what it looks like. Yeah. So it would be nice to be able to hunt some water. It's just grease build up. Okay, maybe some calcite or mineral deposits back there, that white stuff. Again, there's no trees or anything out there that can in any way add to the cause any tree roots to get in here, so we can keep the line clear. I think that is the main. It's hard to see. It's like I'm dropping into a main, maybe around a manhole or something here. I think that's a lie-in at a manhole or something, because of the way it's so open. But I'm going to go actually get a locate, see if I can verify where we are. I'm definitely wiring into a line, so I really do believe this is the main. But I am going to pause the video and go get a locate so I can verify where we are. Okay, we are out at the main. Not getting a great locate, but we are out at the main. You can see where it Y's in. So hopefully what we'll be able to do is just keep it clear like this on the way back, and we'll get a good look at it. It did look good structurally. I didn't see anything on the way out. Obviously it was a little obscured most of the time because we were pushing a bunch of stuff up in front of the camera, but like this, that looks like basically old root intrusion or calcite, calcium from the groundwater getting in a little bit, but nothing active. Same thing, there's no vegetation or anything out there. That looks more like calcite there, but it's not down in the flow line real heavy. Same thing there. Just stuff getting in at the connection. Some of it might even be overflow from when they made the connection. So it's ugly, but it's not doing any harm. Same thing there. When it's got a white coating on it like that, it's basically just means it's being coated with like grease. Like that just looks like debris that there hasn't been enough flow through to get high enough on the line to even wash that away. Because that's not out of joint or anything. It looks like
some toilet paper and stuff like that that kind of rode up onto the side wall and just never got enough water. You can see if you look, like right through here, that water level hasn't even made it a quarter of the way up the pipe. Like there's not been a whole lot of water flow through here for quite a while. And so we would like to be able to see better, or watch it function, not see better, but be able to see the, the functionality of the line, be able to watch it. But the water is turned off, like I mentioned. But it's like the clay looks really good, especially for its age. I'm sure it's not real old, but I'm thinking this is probably 60s, maybe 70s. I'm not sure the exact age of this building. But the good news is that because there's no big vegetation, trees or anything out front of this place, that the clay looks like it's in really good shape. And so we are back into you can see the channeling here, and that's where cast iron has some issues, is just because it'll start to channel out like this. And all the deposits, the mineral deposits and all the stuff in the line kind of tend to deposit on the outside, and then you have a flow line right through the middle. And so there was some buildup here, so I think it might be a good idea to have the line cleaned. And again, this could be because when they had some stuff sitting here, and when the place was vacated, there wasn't a whole lot of water going through here. But you can see how my camera basically made a channel through there, and once it did, the line drained. And so, but it's a soft buildup, and so cast iron it's way more prevalent to have soft clogs in cast iron because of how rough the pipe walls are. So you tend to have more of a chance of buildup from like excessive toilet paper. You never want to use wet wipes. You don't want to use them, period, but especially in cast iron because they can catch a lot easier. And so, and they don't break down. Toilet paper will break down and disintegrate into nothing and just basically turn into the water. But those wet wipes will not, and so things just build up behind it. And you can kind of see the line. It might be a good idea to have this line descaled, just because of how much buildup you have. So, I mean, the line looks like it's functioning, but you have stuff like this where there's just enough stuff sitting. My line, it's flashing, so it's not filling. But if you clean this out, this would drain better. It's not a ton. Like I said, that camera lens is only about a ½ inch, so it's not even an inch of water, and it's a 4-inch diameter pipe. But I'd say from about, see, this is horrible because there's so much stuff in this water. We can't run clean water to be able to see clearer. You can see water going by, like as I'm dragging, I'm kind of creating a better channel for this to escape because I'm kind of rubbing through it. And like I said, it could be because it's been vacant and there hasn't been a whole lot of water going through it, but I think doing some descaling would be a good idea. But I would contact a licensed plumber about that, just because some people have different opinions on descaling. They work well, but some people, if the line's really old, sometimes people will suggest against it, just because you don't want to take a chance of breaking the pipe from the inside if they think the line's real thin. But this looks good. It doesn't look like I haven't seen any spots where it looked like it was breaking through. But basically, the cast iron out to about 40 feet. just looks like you've got a lot of buildup, and it may, flow freely, but we have no way of knowing without having the water turned on if we can flush some of that out of the line. And so I think, based off of how heavy some of that buildup was, I think doing a descaling, or at least looking into having somebody descale the line out to about 40 feet in the cast iron might be a good idea. If you're planning on, if you plan on cooking, a bunch of stuff, it looked like this may have been a salon of some sort, and if you're looking to do something like that again with all the plumbing, it might be a good idea to have the line descaled before you start operation. But overall, the line looks good structurally. It just needs a little bit of maintenance. I didn't see anything in the clay that gave me any concern. That all looks good. It's open and flowing, and so yeah, just maybe a descaling and should be good to go. But flow tests would have helped to be able to see, how much of that stuff would have rinsed out with regular use. But again, I mean, either way, the buildup in there does look like a descaling would be a good idea. So that's going to end the inspection at 3542 Springdale Road in Cincinnati, Ohio.